This is the age of my children. And I remember this. I remember opening that toy. I look at that little girl and I just see my son. I see him. The knowledge that my children will have memories of this time. And I'm like the captain of the ship and I can't find the pause button. In September, my little shadow stepped into preschool and my heartbeat wandered off in borrowed shoes. Now I rehearse an impossible trick, teaching a chest to keep its rhythm with half its pieces elsewhere. Don't want to be Okay, sit down and I'll tell you about a little prophecy. First, I have a cup of cocoa. So nice. I'm trying to have this in the middle of the day instead of a second coffee. A bit less caffeine, but this cocoa here on screen, I mix this with some soy milk and some cinnamon and some maple syrup. This brand Nibbed is really good for your gut as well. And it's just so rich and warming and cozy, especially in the evening after dinner. So back to the prophecy that I found on my SD card. I went out for dinner with my friends. We didn't realise that you needed to pay parking in the car park behind the restaurant. So we came out after the meal and both of the cars were clamped. And initially, it seemed funny. It's all light-hearted, you know, cheeky giggles. And then we're all annoyed because we realise it's late. We all have children. We all have to get up early the next morning. We have to wait around in the dark and cold for 2 hours for the people to come and take the clamps off the cars. So everything's shit. But then the evening ends in a nice way because we all get some cake out of the restaurant and climb into one of the cars and just all have chats, and it all ends up being really memorable and fun and good. And that arc pretty much sums up September for me. It was an emotional roller coaster because both my kids are now in school. My son was starting primary school. My daughter was starting preschool. And as you're about to see, you know, day one, I thought, it's all fine. Let's not ruin things for this Melanie. Let's just let her live for a minute. She's excited. Not a clue. Just let her enjoy the happiness. Apologies about the noise of the washing machine, but I'm just making the kids' lunches. Because it's the first day, my daughter's only in for 2 hours. My son is only in for 3 hours. So I've removed some of the little shelves and pots because they won't need all that much. But I'm giving my little girl some strawberries. It's her favourite fruit. I have a whole wheat, wholemeal pita bread, which they're really, really high in fibre, and I just have some butter and some cheddar cheese on there. And then I finalised the muffin recipe. Do you remember last month I was trying to come up with a healthy muffin that they would enjoy? These ones were the favourites. One of them each because they're very, very healthy. And then for my son, he's having an orange, and on his pita bread I am putting cream cheese. I feel like my son might get a bit hungrier, so I'm popping in an organic berry yogurt as well. I know these are marketed at babies, but they're actually brilliant for lunchboxes. It's just organic Greek yogurt with some apple, banana and berry blended up in it. So perfect for a lunchbox. Where did I put that? This is so fun. I put that in there. Oh my god. So my little boy is about to turn 5. For 5 years, I've been a full-time parent, basically. You know, no formal childcare, no creche, none of that, like nursery. So the fact that both of my kids are starting school, it just feels massive. And weirdly, interestingly, I'm not worried about my son. I know he's just going to walk in and be like, right, mom, see it, because he's so outgoing and sociable and independent. And my daughter is my shadow. She is my shadow. She's still breastfeeding, very, very, very attached to me and very unsure of new people. And I don't know what to expect of this first drop off, this first week, this first month at all. I have no idea what I'm in for. Okay, I've had my little sob. That went way more smoothly than we were expecting. Just wait. Our daughter got to her preschool and saw like animals that they have and stuff in the garden and just like completely relaxed. And yeah, when we were leaving, she was like, bye. We were not expecting that.
I was just blown away. Like the teacher was like, you should probably go. I was like, what do you mean go? I thought I was going to be chained here all day.
Yeah.
That was like we've literally just been like, where do we go now?
What do
I don't
we
know what
do?
to do because
Yeah.
I was expected to be at the school.
Yeah, like we knew our son would be fine because when he started preschool, he just went in, never looked back. He's very sociable. Now we have our phones on loud just in case we do get a call about our daughter. Yeah, now we just have free time, child free, to do whatever
So
we want.
We're driving around. We don't know where to go. We don't know what to do.
we don't have to ask a grandparent. Like, we can just go for a coffee on our own. What the hell? Like, this is mental. I feel so alive. When our daughter's in primary school as well, and they're both in from 9 until 1:30, because this is the great thing about Thomas's job. A lot of people don't get weekdays off. You're mostly off on weekdays. Like, I'd say half the time, most of the time, Thomas's roster changes all the time, but a lot of the time his days off falls on weekdays. So technically we could go home, watch Lord of the Rings, have a nap
Every day.
I can't believe this. I was saying to Thomas though, like, do you guys remember, some of you will have been watching me since the days when me and Thomas used to go to the gym all the time, and obviously we both love exercise and we do it at home now. We both use the Trainwell app and we have like trainers and weights in the house. But I was saying to Thomas, what I want to do, like next week, I just want to experiment with all, like different hobbies and different things to fill the school hours. I am going to work more from now on, but I don't have to do that every day. Like, we could just go to the gym and check our 1 rep maxes in the gym for old time's sake, or we could go to a sauna, or we could go and get a massage. I missed you for the last 5 years. It was easier when we had just one kid to get a bit of child free time, but even then it was still rare because we don't like leaving them for too long, and especially because it's always with our parents, and our parents, you know, they've done their child rearing, and we just don't we don't leave them for like overnights and stuff with the grandparents just yet. And since we had our second child, we've had very little time together, so this just feels crazy. Like, I had my little cry, but now knowing that they're happy and they're fine, now I'm just excited. Now I'm just like, the possibilities are endless. Let's go get some delicious food and a coffee. Let's do dirty dancing. The library in this town's getting all done up, and when it's open I'll be able to drop the kids off and go there, write, do a bit of writing. I know what I need to do. I need to get my eyebrows done one of these mornings. Haven't had my eyebrows done, like tinted and shaped, in a long time, and I haven't had a manicure done in so long. I myself filed them into an almond shape because they did get really long, and they're grand, but I miss having a nice little mani. That high was very short-lived. This weird wallpaper in a local cafe accurately depicts how I felt on day 2, and for many days. Just the anxiety, the on-edgeness, the hypervigilance, the guilt. It was eating me alive, because on the second day we got to the preschool. You know, my son ran into primary school, not a bother, loves his new school, loves his new friends, and my little girl like sobbed like she was going to die. She looked so scared. She didn't understand why I had to leave. She was so upset. She didn't want me to leave. She was begging me to stay. She was begging me not to leave her. And I was just crippled. Like, every cell in my body was saying, scoop her up, bring her with you. Like, you're her safe space. You're her anchor. How dare you leave her here with strangers and expect her to be okay? Like, it's not normal. It's not natural. Like, my brain was just like turning on me, and I suddenly had nausea. It lasted for like a week, like 24/7 unrelenting pregnancy style nausea. I just felt so sick to my stomach at myself and at the situation. And I didn't know what to do. Every day for a week, I end up crying in the car. But like her teacher was reassuring me that she's, you know, calming down very quickly once she goes in, and that she's having loads of fun. And I'm getting photos of her, like the teacher's texting me pictures of her all happy and playing and smiling. And yet that doesn't ease the like sensations of anxiety in my body. So like I spend a few days, every day I'd sit outside crying in the car at first, and then I would go off and do something. So I was trying to just figure out what to do with this newfound freedom. Like it's a big routine change for me. Like there's quite a drive to the schools, and then, you know, I was having to be close by just in case I had to pick her up for the first couple of weeks. So I was kind of, you know, what will I do with this time? It felt weird to be childless. Yes, my son has been in preschool for a couple of years, but I always had my daughter, my little shadow, always with me, always at my leg, always talking to me. So yeah, to get out of my head and get back in my body, I'd do a bit of breath work, and I rejoined the gym. I haven't been in a gym in so long. I've done home workouts, as I always share with you, but joined the gym. Yeah, something about lifting up and down heavy things and moving my body just always gets me out of anxious thought loops. I just think exercise is medicine. One of the days I went for a long rambly walk. I was able to think. I didn't have constant mammy questions, and I was able to have a little sit down on a bench and read my book. And the nausea was so bad that at one point I just took my shoes off and I went in the water. And I don't know what it is about cold water or like grass on the old feet, but it just is so calming, makes me feel safe, like grounds me. So I had a little stroll. One of the mornings Thomas was off, so we had a little date, a little coffee and breakfast date. And another morning I went and got my hair done. I attacked the hair at last. I hadn't touched it in so long, and it was like a big massive wig. So under a recent video, a lot of you recommended I get long layers, so that's what I did, and I was so happy with it. Got the roots dyed, and long layers in hair, in skerries, and just the little bit of pampering felt good. And then I was able to, collect my daughter and have a little date with her. And like, I brought her a little cake, and then I brought her clothes shopping with me, just trying on clothes, little girly date before we collected my son. And that's been a beautiful part of this school transition, is that I get time alone with my daughter every day now, which I didn't have before. Like all summer I had the two kids all day every day, and there's a gap between the pickups. So I collect my daughter first, and then an hour and a half later I collect my son. So she and I are getting more time alone, and that's very, very nice. But as the days went on, nothing was improving initially. Even just editing this is bringing back the nausea. I was trying to stick with just looking after myself, distracting myself. Let's look at these nice things in the shops, and let's use up a spa voucher that I got like 2 years ago as a gift for appearing on the Baby Tribe podcast. My friend Afif gifted me this amazing voucher that I just hadn't had a chance to use. So I went for a nice massage and a facial, and that was lovely. But like, I was in such a state of anxiety, even with the like lovely relaxing massage, that I got an IBS flare up.
I cannot seem to operate, and you, my love, are gone. So glide away on soapy heels. And
through this whole anxious week, I did stick with, like, I was eating very, very healthy. I kept up with my gym routine, and I was trying to do breath work in the car and all this, but there was just a knot in my stomach until the day came when things changed and there were no more tears at drop off. Like, the worry you experience when you become a parent is just like something you cannot prepare for. Oh, okay. We've had a couple of good days where she's happily gone in and just not looked back. And I think the big difference has been she brings in her favourite dolly, which is Dr. Doocy. And this is her second favourite dolly. Her name is Hannah. She used to call her Nana, but now she can actually say Hannah. I have to bring Hannah on the walk, so I tell her I'm going for a walk just outside, and so she thinks I'm very nearby. And I bring Hannah on the walk and she brings Dr. Doocy in, and then they reunite. So like I come back to pick her up with Hannah going like, hello! And for some reason, this has made a huge difference. I don't know why. I've also drawn the little love heart on her hand and my hand, so that if she misses me or anything like that, she can just rub her heart or kiss her heart and I'll feel it. The love heart tip I got from people on Instagram and saw all over the internet. And yeah, so Hannah and I are gonna go for a walk now to the gym. I've woken up with the nausea and it's there, but it's like I'm just choosing to accept that it's there and trust that it's like my mental state and that it's like a mind-body thing, because you probably know I have health anxiety and I can tend to catastrophize and feel something and think like, oh, what if it's cancer? What if it's this? What if it's that? And I'm trying really hard to stop doing that. I've been doing it for like a week straight with this nausea, but it's just too coincidental. It's too coincidental that it's lining up with a huge life change. It's Mama's time for her first ever Parents Association meeting. Kids are asleep, and for some reason the Parents Association meetings are at 8 p.m, which is my bedtime. But I was just joking about this on Instagram. I'm wearing my Voices for Gaza t-shirt. The reason I was joking about it is because every time I ever talk about Gaza online, I get a load of people unfollowing me, and these parents who will be on the Parents Association, they ain't getting away from me for at least 10 years. You know, I'm tired. I've been filming all day. I was filming that video you've probably seen already about like how ADHD impacted my entire dating life, my love life. And because of the whiteboard, I was filming for over 3 hours. That edit is insane. And yeah, so I just figured I'll just go to this because I just really want to be involved. Like, I spent my entire life thinking about the day when like I'm a mom, I'm a mother, I've got like little kids in school, and you know, we're doing their homework and I'm making them cupcakes to bring into their friends. You know, in all like the 90s movies, and you're looking at the parents, I'd be like looking at them thinking about the day when I am that, and I always wanted to be one of those really super involved parents, almost in an annoying way. So yeah, and all the parents I've met so far of the other children in my son's class seem super nice. We had a play date at the park and they all seem lovely. But yeah, my child is going to be going to these people's houses. We'll be super involved with them for like the next decade. So I think this is important to do, even though I am sleepy. But the main reason I'm vlogging is just just to drop on and let you all know that if the current social media landscape politically is driving you out of your fucking mind, you're not on your own. I am this close to swapping to a dumb phone, like a brick phone, a non-smartphone. I'm this close. I can't take it anymore. I put up a reel today about how I would prefer to be sucked into the board game Jumanji and spend 26 years lost in Jumanji than doom scroll for another 2 minutes. I can't do it. It's destroying my soul. How divided people are. How it just seems like there's no political sides anymore, left or right. It's just like you're either extreme or you're not extreme. Like you're extreme left or extreme right, or you're somewhere closer in the middle, and like, which is where I feel like I am. I'm so sick of people asking me, am I this, am I that? What do I feel politically? Like I am a person, I'm a human being. I don't want to be Oh! It was a firework. Oh! Oh! Fuck! my nervous system is so cooked from this week. Just so much going on. If you've not been on social media, I won't even tell you. You don't want to know. You don't want to know. I think I'd just kind of like to go back to 2019 when everyone that I follow didn't get, like, you know, weren't cheersing wine glasses and dancing when they'd hear of someone being murdered, even if it's someone they completely venomously disagree with. I do miss the days when I wasn't watching a genocide unfold in 4K. I'm really struggling with how do I stay informed without frying my nervous system again. I stopped looking at the news for a really long time because I couldn't handle it. And then I got to a place where I was feeling much better mentally and physically, and I was like, okay. Oh, can't handle that. Halloween, like the whole time between Halloween and Christmas, is my favorite time of year. I love it. I'm all about Halloween fireworks, but like, guys, it is September. There are babies that just going asleep. Sorry, what was I saying? The genocide. Today, literally today, all of the mainstream news outlets like BBC, Sky News, like all of them, have finally named what we've been watching as genocide. And I thought seeing them all, you know, agree, like just acknowledge what's happening, what we're seeing, like, I just thought I'd feel like a weight off or some kind of relief that, like, okay, things are going to change now and stuff. But I just felt angrier. I just saw it and just felt fucking angrier. I'm a ball of rage today because I just realized, like, you know, yes, they've said it. They said the quiet part out loud. They've named a spade a spade. And now I feel like it's going to be worse and it'll just still keep happening. And we all have agreed now. That bus nearly hit that car. Oh man, don't hit me. Thank you. Anyway, I'm gonna go and I will let you know what comes of this little parent-teacher meeting. I feel like such an adult. I don't feel like someone who has children. Like, I'm a mother. That doesn't sound real. It just sounds like I'm going... Okay, we need to listen to some angry music. What's this? No, that's not the one. Oh, Goonies. Yes, algorithm. Oh, yes. Right, so it's the next day, and I am officially a mommy who is on the Parents Association. I feel like such an adult right now. It was an hour and a half of talking about fundraising for the school. Like, there's a Halloween ball happening and like Christmassy stuff. I won't bore you with the details. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do my makeup. I've had a very busy few days and I just want a nice little sit and a little chat. So I posted a review on Instagram of One Battle After Another. We were invited to the premiere and a few of you asked me about my makeup. Please ignore my husband's face, but this is how I've been doing my makeup, and it's really, really quick to do as well. It's using a lot of products that I've had for a very, very long time. See the dress, the like stunning green dress that I wore to the premiere? I got it for €7 in a charity shop, secondhand from Zara, but I am devastated because it snapped. The shoulder thing snapped, like it had these little strappy things on the sides, and this, I just leaned forward. My shoulder just busted it open. So I'm going to try and get it fixed. Size medium, silky green dress from Zara. And I don't buy from brands like that brand new. I would only buy it if it's pre-loved. So I'm first going to do my Beauty Base All-in-One Moisturising Primer with Factor 50. This stuff has such a beautiful scent. It's sculpted by Amy. And it just makes my makeup look less cakey. I'm using a very old favourite that I just always have there is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place makeup in the shade Cool Bone. I always use a damp sponge if I'm using this particular product. I just feel like it goes on way better with a wet sponge. Girlies, I'm starting to get some static wrinkles. I don't know how well you can see them, but basically, you know the way I chew my cheeks and I like do this? See that? Usually that line just forms and then vanishes, but they're starting to like kind of leave a little line behind. So I'm trying really hard to stop chewing the insides of my cheeks. Now I'm doing a therapy for health anxiety. Sometimes I start actually like going on at my therapist about things that actually bother me. But she recommended me using like a mouth guard or a gum guard or something like that, especially during like movies or any times that I'm sitting there and I know I'm going to be doing that, which I have not done. I have not tried. But does anyone have any advice on stopping doing something like that? Like I used to bite my nails and I stopped, so I know I'm capable of quitting such bad habits. But yeah, I don't want to prematurely age my face if I can avoid it. I'm not like gonna go get Botox or anything, but you know, if I could ideally not give myself wrinkles, that would be great. I'm in desperate need of date night because the last few days have been so insane. We had my son's 5th birthday party. This was our first attempt at organising like a kiddie party. We've no experience with this because usually we kind of just have like a family thing in my in-laws' house, like Thomas's parents. Yeah, close family. Last year we did a bouncy castle and it was like torrential rain. September is not a good month for bouncy castles. But we hired a venue through a family connection. We ordered a load of sea-themed decorations and like an Octonauts cake. Octonauts is a cartoon on Netflix that both our kids absolutely love watching together. Thomas was in charge of the invitations and he put 2 p.m. until 5 p.m. on the invitations. Look, I have learned my lesson. Never again. 3 hours. We had not enough activities planned for 3 hours. Just going to use a bit of concealer. This is the Sculpted by Amy Brighten Up Under Eye liquid concealer. But yeah, don't get me wrong. We were organised. Like my sister-in-law, who's an amazing artist, she was doing face painting on all the kids, like little sea creatures. We had food in the cake, so like my son and I made a load of sea-themed like plates with like a croissant crab and a hummus octopus and starfish pancakes and silly little things like that. So like there was all that. I had a piñata, though I didn't realise that the piñata, when I bought the piñata in Tesco, there was nothing in it. Am I just stupid? Or like, is that something everyone knows, that you buy an empty piñata and then you fill it up? I didn't know that. I thought it just comes full of like sweets. But then the more I thought about it, it makes perfect sense. Like you'd want to know what's in the piñata. So thankfully my other sister-in-law, Kiva, she and my brother were staying here and like she noticed that it was empty. So I had a load of like packets of Smarties that I was going to lay out at the party that we filled it with. And so we had like a piñata that was an absolute disaster, shambles, where we had it hanging from a broomstick, and the kids were using bubble ones that we had given them to like bash it open. And my absolute favourite part was Thomas, my husband, had ordered a shark costume, and so we were in, the venue was the rugby club. He basically put on the shark costume and ran out on the pitch, and I had to send out all the kids to like chase him and try and pull these crepe paper flags off him to win colouring books, like Octonauts colouring books that we'd ordered. And basically they all just took him down real quick and started like jumping on top of him, and he had not slept. Like I think he had a brief nap, but he was on a night shift flying through the night back from Washington. He was absolutely exhausted, and yet he still showed up and did that. He's such dad goals, dad of the year. This is why I married him, people. He's a man of his word. He'd do anything to make that child smile. Oh my God, it was just amazing. But anyway, so like all this stuff, and yet like an hour and a half came and went, and we were kind of like, because lots of the parents left the kids there, you know, and didn't stick around because it was so crazy. Like there was so many people. Sorry, I'm using the Benny tint, which if you've seen me use loads of times, by Benefit. It's like a lip and cheek tint. I'm just using it on my cheeks. But like, yeah, loads of them just kind of were like, okay, see you later. And so I was like really stressed anyway, because you know when you're responsible for other people's kids. Yeah, so we were kind of like, oh, so when's this over? Like looking at our watches, and there was so much time left to go. Like it was still so early. I think it was like 3:30, and we were like pooped from like just the whole morning of organizing, and then like, yeah, just managing all of these children who are starting to get like real, you know, they're all piling on each other, like they're just that age. And it turned into such a 90s, like old school party where with like party games like Simon Says, musical statues, all those kinds of old party games that when we were all kids, like we did. And it was so good. Like it was actually just, yeah, even though it was extremely stressful, it just turned out to be so much fun. Now I like to go a bit overboard on blush, so I'm also adding some of the Liquid Lights Liquid Blush by Sculpted by Amy. This is like a darker, but yeah, this is just what I've been doing. Don't ask me why. This is the face that I have been wearing, and I don't know. I just don't know what I'm doing. I'm certainly not a makeup artist. I don't know what's in. Like, well, one thing I do know that's in is fluffy eyebrows, which I've tried. Like, you know, like when you brush your eyebrows up and they look all big and thick and fluffy. I tried it and I don't like how it looks on me. So I have started doing my eyebrows the exact way I used to do them a few years ago. And I think it makes me look younger. Maybe that's in my head because when I was younger, I wore my eyebrows the way I'm about to do them. Yeah, I'm doing 2019 eyebrows. And they just, I think, look so much better on me because I barely have any eyebrows. You see, my hair is so dark, and I just look so washed out without the eyebrows. This is old school. This is the Benefit Pomade Brow Pomade, and it's neutral deep brown. And I have one of these angled brushes with the, you know, I'll do a little brush up, but like I fill them in fairly like thick. Yeah, I do think my son at the time of his life at his birthday party, and like his 2 great grandmothers were there. It was special and memorable, but it was so stressful that I understand now why people do things like they go to PJs or Fantasia. Do you know those kind of like play centers where there's other people in charge of organizing everything and like kind of keeping the kids in check. But yeah, if I may for a second, like just gush about my son. I can't get over how he's turned out as a person. I know I'm biased, but like trying to speak as unbiased as possible. He's just some character. The one-liners and stuff that he comes out with and the little expressions, and like he just loves making people laugh. He's a very advanced sense of humor. And I don't mean like rude stuff or anything like that. I just mean he knows certain things are funny when like he seems too young to know. Like, for example, I rarely watch anything when they're in the room, but like if he's supposed to be playing in the other room with my husband and I'm like watching an interview or a really boring interior design YouTube video or something like that, he'll come in and like sit beside me and he'll just be like, "Mammy, I love this. I just love this," like sarcastically, you know, and he's been saying stuff like that since he was just gone 4, and like he's just so funny. I'm no comedian, like he didn't get that from me. I don't know, where do they get their personality? Like obviously it's a mishmash of every single experience they've had and just all sorts of things, but just to watch it happen with a person, a human being that came from your body, that like you grew and like is made up of like things you ate while you were pregnant, and like then they're just like this person with opinions and completely independent thoughts. He's so brave. Just the way he started primary school this month, I can't get over it. Like from day one, interacting in class and marching up to new people and being like, "Would you like to be my friend?" And he reminds me so much of myself as a child. He's got a very strong-willed streak. And yes, obviously that can make things a bit challenging if he's like not willing to budge on something or whatever. Like he's very headstrong and very like he knows himself and he stands up for himself. And even though it's challenging at times, it's one of my favorite things about him because I know that that's going to stand to him. He's not going to let people walk all over him. He just doesn't take shit. You know what I mean? He will question like, why do I have to do that? Like if there's logic there, he's very good at, you know, doing whatever I need him to do, but he doesn't just blindly like take everything you say, because he'll ask questions and stuff, and I just love it. He really knows his own mind, and I think it's easier to love it because on the flip side, he's really kind and he's really gentle. He does jiu-jitsu classes. I know I told you earlier in the year when I was first putting him into the jiu-jitsu, he's already leveled up a whole belt. He's doing really well at that, but jiu-jitsu really teaches them how to be aware of their strength. Even at his birthday party, there was like a couple of boys fighting, and he stood in the middle of them and was like, guys, come on, calm, stop it. He's very naturally musical, and I got this clip. It is adorable. This is like his first official song that he wrote himself. He started singing this made-up song in the car on the way to school. So I found the notes of what you've been singing for the last few weeks. Is that your song? Oh! Okay. Under the sea lives a crab, and his name is Tom. He is afraid of the sharks. He doesn't want them to eat him. He's obsessed with art now as well. He loves his art. We bring him to art classes. We were at an art event this week with RTE for this nationwide art competition that they're running, and he got to meet Mike Gibson, who's like this famous viral Irish artist, and yeah, he got to like do an art class with him. It was absolutely adorable. Like just seeing all these interests and hobbies emerge. It's crazy because you think you're going to know what your child, you think when they're a baby, you know what they're going to be into, and you just don't. Like, they tell you, they show you. And he's just so interesting and interested in the world, in like space and understanding what we are, why we're here. Though that definitely leads to a lot of very interesting conversations, because obviously I don't know the answers to all of the questions, and I think it's just magic, really seeing the world through a child's eyes. And I know a lot of people come online and just complain about parenthood and how hard it is, and like I'm guilty of it in the past and blah blah blah. But the thing is, once you're like sleeping well and stuff, and when you do feel your way through those like really early days where you just don't have a clue what you're doing, which I was doing live on camera, you realize how much of a privilege it is. Like I feel so lucky to be the parent to these children. The fact that I get to be their mom is like everything. So, okay, lippy combo. So many questions about this. So my lip liner is Plummy by Clinique, and the lipstick is the one that I showed in a reel last year. It was Arwen's lipstick. So Arwen from Lord of the Rings, this is the one she wore in Lord of the Rings. It's called Black Honey by Clinique. It's gone viral recently, but it's a really old lipstick. I made that 2025 essentials video recently, and I explained why I always overline my lips, but look, this is the before, and watch the magic. I mean, come on. Such a difference. Yeah, for this time of year, love that lippy. Last but not least, we have to do eyelashes. So I curl them, and then I use the Benefit Roller Lash. At the premiere, I wore a tiny bit of eyeshadow, but today I don't want to faff around with eyeshadow. On a daily basis, I wouldn't really wear eyeshadow. But yeah, earlier I went looking through old photos, like family photos that my mom gave me a couple of years ago of when my brother and I were really young, and I hadn't seen these pictures since I was a child, because my parents divorced when I was about 7, and so there was just so many pictures that obviously for a time were locked away, painful memories from my parents and stuff like that. And my mom fished out all of these pictures and gave them to me, and I was so grateful for it, because I think there's just something that happens to you when you become a parent where like you're suddenly thinking a lot more about your early childhood, and the things that you do and don't want to give your children, like pass on to your children, experiences that you had, all of that stuff. And I do think it's quite common when your parents did divorce when you're young, like I think the trauma of that can lead to a lot of repression of a lot of memories. It's really hard when your family stops being a family or changes into a new dynamic, like where you've got two families or whatever, and you kind of have to like part with how you viewed your entire life, and your like home has changed, your routine, your sense of structure, like. And I think, yeah, looking through the pictures, there was a lot of stuff that I just didn't remember, but then seeing the picture like triggered a lot of memories, and like a lot of very good memories. But it's almost like as a child I realized that the pain of like that life changing so dramatically so quickly I couldn't handle the pain of it, so I had to like just box a lot of it off. Anyway, so I find this picture. Yeah, I'm now the mother of a 5-year-old and an almost 3-year-old. And this picture, this is 31 years ago on my 5th birthday. I'm 5 here. My brother is like basically this is the age of my children. And I remember this. I remember opening that toy. I look at that little girl and I just see my son. I see him. The knowledge that my children will have memories of this time, and I'm like the captain of the ship, and I can't find the pause button. This was Thomas's teddy when he was a baby, and my son now sleeps with Jimmy. The circle of life is circling and I just have so many feelings. I don't know how to process it. I don't know how to see myself as someone who has children this age. Speaking of being a parent to small children, I'm gonna, by the way, this film chat will be brief. I'm just sitting here taking my makeup off and having a bath with my daughter. The vlog is due to go live today, but I only got time last night to watch the movie that was suggested for this month's film chats, which was Finding Nemo. What are you trying to do to me? I saw this when I was younger. I saw Finding Nemo years ago, and I thought it was fine. I never loved Finding Nemo or anything. I think I was kind of maybe a bit old for it when it came out. Obviously, watching Finding Nemo as a parent hits very different. Monthly vlog family, I regret to inform you that this is the first movie that I failed to sit through for the film chats because I couldn't, because the second the score came on with like the dad, Marlin, like frantically chasing the boat that had taken Nemo, it's such a visceral score that you can feel his terror in your own body. Thank you. This is my hat. As soon as that music came on, I got a lump in my throat. I almost threw up. I think I'm just a bit too anxious for Finding Nemo at the moment. Even the bit that I did watch brought up a lot, and it brought back a lot of memories of the film. It's a film about letting go. It's a film about the ultimate helicopter parent. Thomas is a helicopter parent, and I am a little bit of a helicopter parent. I'm trying, and I'm definitely not as bad as Thomas is. He won't be insulted by me saying that. We've talked about it a lot, but the film obviously starts with a massacre. And I just feel like Disney is king of, you know, those kind of movie scenes where the parent dies and it's just really traumatizing. It's obviously, you know, big life lessons kids all have to learn eventually, but I think I would have preferred learning about death through having a cat die rather than the Mufasa scene. But yeah, the kind of theme of overprotection is big in Finding Nemo, and how that can backfire. And I don't know, it's something really heavy about that. I was only talking to a friend about this recently, but like the way we are as parents versus the way our grandparents were, or even our own parents, like we have so much access to like all of the worst things in the world through 24/7 news that we almost like we kind of have to watch ourselves in like prevent ourselves from teaching terror and fear to our kids. Obviously there's a line, like obviously certain situations are dangerous for children. But when I was like 8 years old, I used to wander off. I'd no phone. I'd be wandering through fields, through building sites. Like I learned a lot through experience and, you know, getting lost and having to find my way home. And there's a lot of talk on social media lately about like the negative effects our helicopter parenting is having on our kids, and I just can't deal with that. I'm fragile. I'm too fragile for Nemo. Some of you are probably watching this thinking I'm being a bit tad dramatic. You know, it is just a movie about parental love, but I see a child vanishing from sight and a parent losing their mind with anxiety, and I just get more anxious. So I'll try Nemo another time. The only other thing I've had time to watch is we've started watching House of Guinness. A few of you asked my thoughts on that and stuff. So I've only just started it, so I can't say much, but it wasn't filmed in Ireland. And like, it's very obvious to me as an Irish person that all the actors aren't Irish. Well, it wasn't entirely obvious, but it was obvious enough that I Googled it to check, like, because the accents are there's an Irish accent that people do that's just a blend of all of the accents, because there's so many accents in Ireland, and you only know that if you live here. Like, you can tell a Kerry accent from a Northern Irish accent, from a North Dublin accent, from a South Dublin accent. And anyway, in House of Guinness, the accents are just the kind of standard Irish accent that English and American people tend to do. So start watching that, but hopefully next month's film chat will be a bit more like they usually are, a bit more well thought out, and where I actually finish watching the film. I'm going to go and finish this edit and get this posted on time. Don't like it being late. I hope you had a nice September. I hope you weren't playing Green Day's Wake Me Up When September Ends on repeat and crying in your car, as I was. But it all worked out. Look, the kids, both of them love school now. My daughter loves it. Never a peep out of her going in, coming out. She's always in a great mood. And I'm kind of finally adjusting to this like new life phase, new routine. So next month should be more firmly in my routine and showing kind of what life looks like now, because this month was very much a big blurry transition phase, which is always very hard to capture and vlog and, you know, document. But let me know how your month was. I'll see you again very soon. Kisses, Mommy, cuddles. Mommy, say bye-bye. I don't want to. Okay. Bye.